Hi guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Kevin Durant Jimmy Butler 3-team blockbuster trade gaining momentum. The NBA trade deadline is jam-packed with rumors. One of the main ones is regarding Phoenix Suns star Kevin Durant and Miami Heat star Jimmy. A new report on Tuesday night mentioned that the Warriors have made Durant their priority ahead of the deadline. On top of that, the Warriors were the favorites in the latest odds for Durant team, so there is plenty of smoke around a Durant reunion in Golden State. Now NBA insiders Jake Fizer and Mark Stein laid out a 3-team blockbuster deal that has a ton of moving parts. One reason for the significant uptick in Durant, chatter sources said, is that trading him appears to be the only way for Phoenix to acquire Miami's Jimmy Butler before Thursday's deadline, Fizer and Stein wrote via Substack. They also added that Butler going to Phoenix and Durant to Golden State is indeed in play. Durant was part of the Warriors team that won back-to-back NBA titles in 2017 and 2018, and a return would reunite him with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green in hopes of another NBA Finals run. On the other hand, it has become clear that Butler prefers to go to the Suns, although Phoenix going from Durant to Butler is quite a scenario. Arizona sports insider John Gambadra also had a similar Butler-Durant trade. The KD to Golden State has taken on a life of its own in the last 24 hours. Look, I do not know for sure, so not reporting. I did talk to several teams today that heard the same thing. One told me he will most likely end up in Golden State with Butler to Phoenix. Brian Windhorse reported that the Heat and Warriors had previously discussed a trade that would have sent Andrew Wiggins to Miami, so that's another thing to watch in this rumor. So with all the rumors circulating, there is now a scenario in which Durant goes to Golden State, Butler goes to Phoenix, and Miami adds some pieces to what would be a massive 3-team blockbuster. Kevin Durant has emerged as a major trade candidate ahead of the February 6 deadline. The Golden State Warriors could attempt to reunite the future Hall of Famer with Stephen Curry. The Phoenix Suns, however, will demand a high price. In a February 4 report, The Athletic's Sam Amch, David Aldridge and Anthony Slater revealed the Suns' interest in acquiring Draymond Green. In exploratory conversations, the Warriors have only been met with an exorbitant asking price. In theoretical structures, essentially everything of future value. Considering the tricky spot the Suns seem to find themselves, the trio reported, league sources say. Four-time All-Star forward Draymond Green, who has an established relationship with fellow Michigan State alum and Suns owner Matt Ishbia, is among the Warriors players Phoenix is known to covet. Green has spent his entire career with the Warriors. He has won 4 championships with the franchise. Many view him as a generational defensive talent. Green enters the second year of a 4-year $100 million contract. Teams cannot underestimate his value as a veteran leader. Nevertheless, Golden State has performed at a 0-5 level this season. They sit 11th in the Western Conference after missing the 2024 playoffs. The front office is likely to consider everyone except Curry in potential trade discussions. Steve Kerr is in the stands at the Marriott Center for Bayou versus Arizona. The Bayou Cougars are once again hosting a ranked opponent at the Marriott Center, taking on the number 20 Arizona Wildcats in a late-night Big 12 matchup after Conor McGregor made an appearance in Bayou's home win over Baylor. The Cougars are continuing their streak of notable faces in the stands at the Marriott Center, and tonight it's Arizona alumni Steve Kerr, head coach of the Golden State Warriors. Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors are in town to take on the Utah Jazz at Delta Center tomorrow night, but coach found a few hours to sneak away to watch his ranked alma mater take on the streaking Bayou Cougars. Coach Steve Kerr also joins the 10 NBA scouts and attendants who are evaluating the talent on the court. Kerr's Warriors will meet the Jazz tomorrow, February 7 at 8 p.m. In his 4 years as an Arizona Wildcat, Steve Kerr averaged 11.2 points and 3.4 assists before eventually bouncing around the NBA and finding his way to Chicago. The Kerr found his role as a shooter off the bench, winning 5 NBA championships as a member of Michael Jordan's Bulls. More recently, following his playing career, Steve Kerr became the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, where he has won another 4 NBS championships with Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, to warriorstrade gaining momentum. Insider: there is growing chatter of the Suns pulling the trigger on a Kevin Durant to warriorstrade ahead of the February 6th NBA trade deadline. According to Jake Pfizer of the Stein line, the Suns have no option but to facilitate Durant's reunion with Golden State to acquire Jimmy Butler from the Heat, with the Suns unable to move Bradley Beal's contract to either the Heat or the Warriors. They are in a precarious position of parting with Durant to make salaries work. One reason for the significant uptick in Durant chatter, sources said, is that trading him appears to be the only way for Phoenix to acquire Miami's Jimmy Butler before Thursday's deadline. Pfizer wrote in his newsletter on February 4th, why would the Suns want Butler if they no longer have Durant on the roster? No one asked by the Stein line has been able to furnish a good answer to that question, but rumbles persist that a scenario that transports Butler from South Beach to the desert with Durant moving back to the Bay Area is indeed in play. While Fisher's report didn't touch upon Golden State's outgoing salaries to pull off a Durant transaction, The Athletic reported that the Suns have targeted Draymond Green in exploratory conversations with the Suns. The Warriors have only been met with an exorbitant asking price in theoretical structures, essentially everything of future value. Considering the tricky spot the Suns seem to find themselves, wrote NBA insiders Anthony Slater, David Aldridge and Sam Amch. League sources say four-time All-Star forward Draymond Green has an established relationship with fellow Michigan State alum Suns owner Matt Ishbia is among the Warriors players Phoenix is known to covet. Even Green realizes that he could be traded before the February 6th deadline after the Warriors defeated the Magic on February 3rd. Green acknowledged that Warriors governor Joe LaCab was compelled to pull out all the stops to improve the roster. We all know LaCab is pissed sitting at 0-5. Green said by The Athletic, you'd be a fool to sit back and think like, ah man, everything is okay. Not with that guy. That guy is always trying to win, always pushing the envelope as much as he can. You got to expect they'll be aggressive. Luka Doncic just got traded, so everyone thinks everything is possible at this point, right? Stephen Curry previously spoke about not holding any grudges against Durant for the circumstances under which the latter departed from the franchise in 2019. Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant at Steph's three-point record celebration. Dinner brothers for life. In an interview with Logan Murdoch and Raja Bell on the Real Ones podcast, Curry explained why he did have any hurt feelings when Durant departed. I never really had any hurt to begin with, Curry said of Durant's exit. I knew as a man, as an athlete, he didn't owe me anything. He doesn't owe our franchise anything. It was a situation where he left. It was his own decision. I made sure I was open and available about how I felt about him as a person, as a player, how confident I was we would be able to win for a long time. Like you say your piece on that front, but at the end of the day he makes the decision to leave. I fully respect him as a person and had so much appreciation for what we were able to accomplish. I didn't really have any resentment on that front. And you, fan, what do you think of the Kevin Durant situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.